in most cases it's down to the individual territories, as in England, you know, Europe, and so forth. It's down to them how much they put into the album.
Oh, right.
So for instance, sometimes when artists are promoted a lot more in some territories because they fit in a lot of Usher's like a worldwide priority artist. So, you know, there's so many things, starting from the promotion of how we're going to launch Usher. So we'll sit down, we'll have you know, a big massive planning meeting with the press department, the TV department,
so
radio and so forth. So we'll all sit down and come up with different ideas of how we could launch and get the best coverage for Usher, and also how we can maybe get the record played. So for instance, because that was how it was in the beginning.
Right.
Now it's changed so much because of the internet. The internet is a massive influence on how people market, you know, music, and sometimes it can work in a benefit, and sometimes it can be a disadvantage. But in the case of Usher, what happened is the producer, Polo the Don, for instance, for his last album, Here I Stand, he leaked Love in This Club. Yeah. So obviously, because everybody kind of like picked up on it, all the radio stations picked up on it, we were kind of like forced to go with that record as the first record. Otherwise, we wouldn't really have gone with Love in the Club, because in the US it might have worked, but here in the UK it's got a different. Radio works differently over here. You know, very rarely hear mid-tempo slow jams from R&B artists until like 2 or 3 songs along, or unless they're something like Alicia Keys, who is very well and renowned for that type of stuff. But obviously, Usher coming off a massive album, you know, Confessions. So we had to set it up right. And unfortunately, I don't think we got to do that this time around with Here I Stand. You know, we were kind of like forced to go gung ho on this particular record. You know.
It didn't do
beginning. It didn't. They wouldn't do, because in all truth, it wasn't as good as an album's Confessions. You know, let's be honest with that. But you know, that's kind of like how it all starts in regards to promoting and marketing particular artists. You know, we look at always new ways to try and get the pocket, get the fans to go out and actually spend. But what we find with especially urban music is your core audience have now sort of like shifted from being the tastemakers, so they're the trendsetters, they're the people that will go out and download it for free and spread it on their phones. And so now we kind of like try to target your middle England with the music, so people who live in Cornwall, people who live on the outskirts of Newcastle, suburban satellite towns, not living at the cities, but those are the people that are more likely to go onto iTunes and buy their stuff. So, you know, that's kind of like a little taste of how we see, you know, how albums are sold and how we market stuff. I mean, I could go and talk for hours on the whole process.
Interesting.
I mean, it starts off, because like you've got different departments. You know? So, for instance, you would initially go with your press, so you would contact people at like GQ, contact people at Harper's Bazaar, contact people at The Voice newspaper, and set up phone interviews with Usher's people. But previously, before that, what people used to do is we used to have a big massive showcase. So we would put on like a private media showcase for all the press people, all the TV people, to get them warmed up. Usher will come out, you know, sing a record, play a video, and kind of like do a massive presentation like that. So.
Oh, that's really cool. Now, on to you. You're better known as Reggie Styles. So where did your nickname come from?
Okay, the heavy part of it. Well, Reggie first, obviously, my real name is Reginald. So, you know, the heavy part of it is I used to do a night. Funny enough, not too far from where we are here now, just down the road at Sound on a Sunday. And I used to host a night and DJ at night called Text Me. And you know, for some strange reason, every week I used to always tear up the floor. And one bank holiday, one of the MCs, a guy called Simon Says, I don't know, I just picked out this record by a tweet at the time called Who. And you know, we would never played it in the middle of a main set because it's such a mid-tempo record. So I just thought, you know what the hell, let me just split it on.
Okay.
And it just ripped the place to shreds. You know, we had to wheat up about 6, 7 times. So this guy Simon Says, who was one of the hosts on the mic, he said, Reggie, I'm renaming you Heavy. You're Heavy for life.
Wow.
So I just thought, you know what, I'll use that. And,
go with it.
In the Styles part, because I used to be a bit of a flash guy. You know, not anymore, but you know, I used to be one of the first people, to be honest, to wear the Gucci's and the Armani's. And not the knockoff Nike stuff either. You know, I used to be at Harvey Nicks, Harrods, spending nearly £1,000, £2,000 a month on clothing. So, you know, that's how I got the Styles then. But not anymore. I realised that it was a waste of money.
There's so many DJs out there at the moment, and they're all doing really well, so are you. So how do you make sure that you stay at that standard?
Well, it's difficult. It's really hard, and I wouldn't even say that I'm at the top of my game from a DJ perspective, because it's shifted. You've got different genres have different ways of turning DJs into stars. So in the dance industry, you've got people like David Guetta, you've got people like Armin van Buuren, you've got Bass Hunter, who's big in his own field, who hasn't, you know, they've managed to build their own reputation because they produce music. Whereas in the urban scene, not a lot of DJs produce music, so it's very difficult to get the PR. So the only other route you can go as a DJ is to either beg for bookings, which I very rarely do, or use the perks. I've just used the perks on my job, whereby I'm around the stars, I have the availability to get hold of merchandise and CDs and stuff. And the way I kind of like really started to get famous was because we used to organise, well, we still do, organise launch parties around the UK. And you know, being a DJ, I would propose and put myself forward as a DJ along with my co-partner Rex, you know, who I can work with now. And so that's how I really got to go out around the UK and play at a lot of these big gigs. And then just because we used to do a good job, they used to invite us back. I mean, I'm not on radio at the moment, so you know, people like Mr. Jam and Trevor Nelson and Swerve, you know, they've got captive audience on a big, massive radio station. We play to the same gigs and we pull in the same amount of people without them. So I'm really proud of that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well done, that's really
That's
good.
something I'm proud of. But it's been years of a lot of grinding, slogging, networking. But I haven't even done that much, to be honest. I mean, this year, that's one of my plans, which is to increase the PR side of it and do a lot of press interviews for magazines and things like that. So, you know, hopefully, fingers crossed, it should be a good year.
So, what are your dreams? Was this one of the dreams, or you still got more left?
What, DJing?
Yeah.
I think my main aim was to become a successful music entrepreneur, and that's one of the things that I wanted to do. Hence why I'm not in Sony anymore, because I know I can earn a lot more money. I went into Sony to gain experience, gain knowledge, and now I've learned how so-called corporates do it. I can then transfer those skills to running my own business in that way. But for this year, my focus is still doing the PR and marketing for artists, because it's something that I've always done, and something's got to pay the mortgage. And then from a music perspective, from a DJing perspective, is to just increase my profile. But I'm shifting away from attracting the student crowd, you know, because there's a lot of DJs out there at the moment, and you know, I think it's time. You know when it's time for you to let the young people come through. I've always been an advocate of it, because I always like to bring through a lot of people. You know, even a Sway used to be on my street team, you know, back in the day, and a lot of people in the industry now doing well. You know, they kind of like looked at people like us, and we've given a few people breaks, and I just wish I had the opportunity to give a lot more other people breaks into the industry. You know, but